A long time ago, a great evil visited the world, the great and powerful prince of demons, Demogorgon. Coming from the abyss, a world full of monstrosities and terrors, he laughed at the simple creatures that Toril possessed. Because of this, he transformed a bunch of creatures into horrific multi-headed versions of themselves, and from this, the Chimeras came forth. The Chimeras from Dungeons & Dragons are different from traditional mythology. From the works of Homer in the Iliad, Chimeras in Greek mythology were lions with the head of a goat coming out of their backs and the tail of a snake with the tip of the tail being the snake head. In here, however, they have the front of their body being a lion, the back of their body being the goat, the wings and tail of a dragon, and the head of all three of these creatures at the very top. Chimeras are conflicting creatures. The nature of all the three entities that comprise it attempting to take hold psychologically. The dragon's head filled with this need to take on a shiny hoard of its own, be that copper, silver, or gold. As long as it looks valuable, it'll crave it. The lion's head filled with this need to fight things that are stronger than he is, to become territorial and to fight those who enter its domain. While the goat head filled with this need to be stubborn and to fight to the death. The 5th edition Monster Manual doesn't really have much on these chimeras. These creatures are fairly dumb and very rare to find, hence actually interacting with them would be a very rare endeavor. But we will not stop there, oh no. There is so much more about these mythical creatures in the past editions, it would be a travesty not to seek it. Did you know that because of the very nature of what a chimera is, that is, being a combination of different monsters put together, it actually gives a chimera a wide range of what it can actually procreate with. Whispers on dark alleyways speak of the Gorgimera. A Gorgimera is the foul concoction of the procreation between a chimera and a gorgon, sacrificing its useless goat head and instead forming a gorgon head, giving the Gorgimera the extra ability of producing petrifying gases out of its mouth. What's most interesting is that certain chimeras naturally develop the ability to become immune to petrification, although certainly not all chimeras. A very random ability to possess, since dragons are not naturally immune to petrification, and neither are lions and goats, of course, so why would that happen to chimeras? Better yet, why only to some chimeras? And the fact that they do possess the ability to procreate with a creature that has the ability to petrify and obviously is immune to the effect is most interesting indeed. Almost seems to suggest that chimeras obtaining abilities either at random or maybe through procreation. You might think this is silly, but a Gorgimera gains the ability to see through both the astral and ethereal planes, and its breath weapon extends therein. Something that neither parents would have on their own, but their offspring gets. That is very interesting stuff. Another possible spawn is what's called the Thessalmera, the combination between a chimera and a Thessal Hydra. The Thessalmera has the scaled lizard-like body and pincer-clawed tail of a Thessal Hydra, 6 to 8 snake-like heads, a central lion head, and a red dragon-like head. A weird and misbegotten creature of nature, most repellent and infamous to men, one of the most ungainly and terrible, though thankfully extremely rare. A Thessal Hydra loses its ability to procreate, hence it will only be the spawn of its otherwise normal parents. But let's go back to chimeras, since they're going to be the most common out of all of these weird combinations. Did you know that chimeras are very clumsy flyers? So much so, in fact, that they will go out of their way to never battle a creature in the air. The nature of how their body works makes it so that while on the air, only one of their heads can actually act at a time, making it very awkward for them. So even when challenged by a weak flying creature, they will always opt for a ground attack, even going so far as to simply run away from an otherwise winnable encounter. Not that the chimera would have anything to fear, since chimeras have incredible healing abilities. Not many have seen this in action, not even the most studious of sages would even know of this, but chimeras can actually regrow their heads. If, for example, the lion head were to be killed or seriously injured, it would only take a month's time to regrow it back to completion. But that is not all. A chimera can, of its own will, cut off the blood supply to the damaged head, Then it'll ram and rub the head against the rocks to remove the wounded appendage, or bargain with another creature to devour or remove the useless flesh, so that then the Chimera can regrow the head back. When Chimeras mate, they do it with the first Chimera that they see, since their race tends to be fairly rare, and most Chimeras will only meet 2 or 3 in their lifetime. Meetups that will rarely last longer than a few minutes each. This mating process, however, will produce offspring only about 30% of the time. Research on this matter claim 1 to 3 babies will come forth, while others claim to have seen upwards of 6 babies come out at a time. The gestation period usually lasts for about 6 to 9 months, longer for more babies of course. What's interesting, however, is just how fast these babies grow and become full-grown adults, ready to kill ya. The mother only takes care of them for about a month, at which point the babies develop the ability to breathe fire and hunt together. At the 4th month, they will strike out on their own, and at the 6th month, they will be full-grown adults. If you, however, do interact with a Chimera, young or otherwise, make sure you don't try to reason with them, or better yet, attempt to trick their heads into arguing with one another. It just simply cannot be done. These creatures rely on their instincts. They are not intelligent. Neither try to sneak up on them while they sleep, for they will always have one of their heads active and ready to wake the body up. In fact, just stay very far away. In general, just don't. It is an old and cruel joke that the Chimera is the only beast that cooks its meal to the desired degree before partaking. Old men roasted well done, but young ones only roasted medium rare.